Awete everyone, this is Regulus Pastor. Welcome back to Higurashi no Naku Koro. This is Meakashi-hen, the fifth arc of the main 8 arcs, and the first answer arc. We had been doing the 4 question arcs before that. But when we left off, we had just got done celebrating the Wataragashi festival. And we were hungover, so Mion, our twin sister, agreed to let us stay the night. But we ever heard Mion and the hag, our Yakuza grandmother, talk about how the victims of this year's curse deserved it. And then while we were petrified there thinking about implications of that, Mion caught us and dragged us with her as she went to answer the phone. And Mion was speaking in that same cold tone that she used when she told us to rip off 3 of her fingernails a year earlier. So Shion whipped out her stun gun and stunned Mion. And now, last time we left off, she was going over to her grandmother Oyo's room to probably do the same to her. So, let's continue. And I guess she is also out to get justice for Satoshi-kun and figure out what really happened. So this is interesting. Oh yeah, I'll have to turn the music down on my headset. You'll still hear it for what? Because there's some like shrill tones that just give me a headache. Let me find my Shion voice.
I walked into the hag's room. She was sitting up to take some medicine. Her back was turned to me. Milo and I are twins. If I acted like her, the hag wouldn't notice the difference. I didn't think she ever suspected me. I put my stun gun to her neck and pulled the trigger. I heard an indescribable electrical sound, and the hag's lights went out. She fell in a twisted position. I didn't know how long it would take a person to regain their freedom of movement after getting knocked out with a stun gun. So I had to restrain them before they woke back up. I was unbelievably calm. The key to the underground torture room was in the forbidden drawer that only the head of the family can access. Neil had told me about this once. I never looked for the drawer before, but I found it exactly where I thought it would be. The key was on a keychain with several of its sisters. Each key had a little plaque on it that said what it was used for. They were all in Mion's handwriting. She was an idiot for being so conscientious, but it sure helped me out. I put the keychain in my pocket and headed to the outdoor storeroom to find a cart.
What was in her handwriting? Excuse me.
I found a large flashlight there as well. There was a strap on the flashlight so I could put it on my shoulder. That way I'd have both hands free to carry Neil and the hag. I loaded Neil and then her grandmother onto the cart and carried them to the underground torture room. I was prepared to use the stun gun again if they woke up while I was working, but it was more powerful than I imagined, and the hag showed no signs of waking. This was the stun gun Kasai specially ordered for me when I told him I wanted a powerful one. I remembered him telling me that it was an illegally modified stun gun and that I should never use it just for fun. I used my flashlight to find the light switch. I found it easily and turned it on. All the lights went on in the basement. Although there was now illumination, it was very dim. I moved quickly so as to finish what I needed to do I decided to put Mio in a cell beyond the torture room. The lights in the torture room were so bright that it was like daylight. There was a door there. I was fairly certain the cells were on the other side of that door. The proper key was here. The keys made a tinkling sound. I felt cold air coming in through the gap in the door.
Oh, my vocal folds, rather, are wanting to tighten up again, making me sound like a 13-year-old boy.
I felt cold air coming in through the gap in the door. There must be a huge opening on the other side. I opened the door and I saw nothing but darkness. I felt along the wall to find the light switch. I turned the switch on, and the light bulbs lit up, revealing a huge rocky cave. It didn't look like a natural cave. It looked more like an air raid shelter. There were several hollow openings with bars across them. Those were the cells. I walked up to the closest cell and checked to see if it was strong enough to confine her. I pushed and pulled on the bars. I rammed against them with all my weight and decided they were perfectly sturdy. This was secure enough to be called a cell. I opened the lock and carried Mio in. I wasn't particularly strong, just average. I never thought I was strong enough to carry a whole person, but now I didn't need to pretend to be weak. I could easily lift and drag their bodies. I put Mio in the cell. She seemed to moan a little. I didn't need to check to make sure. The effect of my stun gun was wearing off. I closed the bars and turned the key in the lock. Then I ran to the hag, who must have been starting to wake up too. Fortunately, there was no sign of her regaining consciousness. Maybe the difference in age had something to do with it. I looked for a table to restrain her on. I found a wheelchair with restraints for the hands and feet. I put the hag in it.
Excuse me. Just hawking up some more pearls.
Of course she didn't resist, but her dead weight made it seem like she was a huge French doll, but one made of flesh. I put her hands on the armrests and restrained them at the wrists with the metal rings and hinges. I did the same with her feet. This must have been a wheelchair specially remodeled to restrain a person. Other than the restraints, it was a regular wheelchair. I waited for the hag to wake up. I had so many things I wanted to ask her. I didn't think she'd answer honestly, but I had plenty of tools to make her talk. I was in no rush. When the hag had a concern, relatives took care of the problem. That was how it worked in the Sonozaki family. She was the leader of the family, so all the information they gathered would make its way to her. She must know everything that happened in Hinamizawa, including the curse of Oyashiro-sama. I heard a noise from the cell. Mio must have woken up before the hag did. Speaking of the hag, she didn't seem like she was about to wake up anytime soon, but she was restrained even if she did, so I had no need to fear. I left the hag there and headed for the cell.
シオン、これは何の真似ですか?
Shion, what do you think you're doing? She talked like the successor, but she also sounded frightened. She obviously understood the situation she was in right now.
おはよう、ミオン。
Good morning, Mio.
まさか自分が閉じ込められることになるとは思わなかった?
You never thought you'd be in there, huh?
園崎家当主代行として命じます。
As the acting head, I order you.
ここを
Open this up.
開けな。声色に一つ凄みが欠けますね。当主様はもっと傲慢な言い方をしなきゃね。
You don't sound so scary in there. You need to talk more like a leader, don't you think?
もっとも、そういう言い方ができたとしても、今のあんたは滑稽なだけなんだけどさ。
Though, talking that way will only make you look like a fool. There was nothing funny about it, but I wanted to intimidate Mio. My laughter echoed throughout the cave. It was artificial and meaningless laughter. I heard it over and over as it echoed. It sounded as if I wasn't the only one laughing. I couldn't stand it, so I stopped. Silence filled the air. That silence almost hurt my ears, so I started to speak.
富武さんと高野さんが今年の犠牲になるとはね。
I never thought
思わなかった。
Tomitake-san and Takano-san would be the victims.
高野さんのドラム缶に詰めて焼き殺したってのもなかなかやるね。
What an idea to burn Takano-san to death.
ま、あの人はそういう死に方を自分で希望してたっぽいからね。
But actually, she would be the kind of person who preferred to die that way.
結構満足してるかもよ。
Maybe she's satisfied, huh? Mio didn't say anything. She just stared at me to see how I'd proceed.
富武さんの自分で自分の喉を引き裂いたってのは何？
What about the way Tomitake-san died? He clawed at his own throat, right?
意識をおかしくさせるような怪しいお薬でも注射したの？
Did you give him a shot of some kind?
それともそういう死に方に見せるような道具でもあるわけ？
Or is there a torture device that did that to him? Mio didn't reply. I was smiling boldly, but I became impatient and finally kicked the bars. It made a violent noise. Mio jumped as if she were kicked directly.
返事がないと退屈です。私を怒らせるとどんな得が？
It's boring not to get any answers. Do you have any idea what will happen if I get angry?
私が知るわけないでしょう。
How would I know? Mio finally replied. She was odious, but at the same time, sounded pitiful.
ねえ、ミオン。
Hey, Mio,
次期当主様。
as the successor.
ここまで来ちゃったんだから教えてくださいな。
Why don't you tell me?
。
Let's see. I had just too many things I wanted to ask her. I wanted to ask her about me, about the incident, about the curse, about Satoshi-kun. I didn't even know where to start. Before I asked her about those, I asked her one other thing.
私に対して反抗的な態度をとっても何の得にもならないこと、理解してますよね。
You understand, don't you? That there's no point in trying to resist. Mio glared at me silently. Because we were twins, I knew that was just a bluff.
もうここまでやっちゃった以上、私も引っ込みがつかないんで。
We've come this far, so there's no point in me hesitating anymore.
お姉も私に容赦とか躊躇とかそういうものをあまり期待しない方がいいかもです。
You shouldn't expect hesitation or even mercy from me, sis. Mio must have been feeling the cold sweat on her face. Although the light was dim, I could tell she was frightened.
じゃあ聞くよ。
Okay, here I go.
ひなみ沢村連続開始事件。
First, about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa.
通称お社様のたたり。
Also known as the curse of Oyashiro-sama.
これってどういう意味があるの？
What's the meaning of it?
やっぱりダム戦争のけじめってやつ？
Is it to signify the end of the dam conflict?
私は多分そうだと思ってる。
I think so. Mion sounded a little confused, but she answered. I felt satisfaction now that we were communicating. I continued with a smile.
思ってるって言い方が少し頼りないね。
You think, huh?
そのあたりの事情は詳しくないの？
Don't you know the details?
シオンだって分かってるでしょ。
You know yourself.
次期当主なんてバッチャの取り次ぎに過ぎないよ。
That the successor is simply a messenger for Granny. Yeah, right.
その当主様と意思を疎通させて 以心伝心なのが次期当主様の役目でしょ。
But the successor must know everything the current head is thinking, right?
取り次ぎに過ぎないなんて信じると思う？
Do you really think I believe you're just a messenger?
いつも身近にいる私だってたまにバッチャが何を考えてるのかわからない時があるもん。
Although I'm always around Granny, I don't always know what she's thinking.
何でもかんでも私が理解してるわけじゃない。
It's not like I can understand her all the time.
じゃあお社様のたたりってのはあいつが全部独断で決めてるわけなんだ。
Okay, so you're saying that everything about the curse of Oyashiro-sama is decided by the hag herself, right?
次期当主様と相談して決めてるのかと思ったよ。
I assumed she talked to the successor about it.
やばい話は全部バッチャが一人で決めてる。
When it's something dangerous, Granny decides it on her own.
私なんか預かり知る余地もない。
I don't have anything to do with it.
でもばあさんの独断だとしたって
But even if she decides by herself,
あいつはあんたを介してやりとりしてるわけでしょ。
the hag uses you to take care of various things, doesn't she?
そのあんたが何も知らないなんてあるはず。
And you're telling me you don't know anything.
違うよ。
No,
私なんかを介していない。
she doesn't use me for that.
私にだってよくわからないんだけど、
I really don't understand it myself.
私が陽の部分を取り継いでるとしたら陰の部分を取り継いでいる誰かがいると思う。
But it's like I take care of problems on the surface and someone else takes care of problems on the underside.
誰？
Who?
その影の部分の取り次ぎって。
Who is the one that takes care of these underside problems?
知らない。
I don't know.
誰かを招いて話してるとことか電話をしているとことか見たことない？
Haven't you seen anyone? Haven't you ever heard a phone conversation?
強いて言えば毎年お社様のたたりの時期になると連絡量がどっと増える相手ね。
It must be someone who gets in touch with the hag at the same time every year, around the time the curse happens.
わかんない。
I don't know.
心当たりなんかないよ。
I really don't. Mion shook her head.
まあいいや。
Okay,
じゃあ質問を変えるね。
let me change the question.
今年のたたりの富武さんと高野さんはダム戦争に直接関係してないのになぜ犠牲に選ばれたの？
Why were Tomitake-san and Takano-san chosen as victims, even though they had nothing to do with the dam conflict?
やっぱり西宮殿に忍び込んだから？
Was it because they snuck into the ritual storehouse? As soon as Mion heard the words ritual storehouse, her expression shifted.
西宮殿に？
The ritual storehouse?
フルテ神社の西宮殿を犯したの？
Did they intrude in the storehouse of the Furude shrine?
ありゃ、
Didn't you know?
知ってるとばかり。
I thought you already knew.
そんなことをしたらバカ、当然だよ。
If they really did that, then it was truly stupid of them. Of course something would happen to them. Mion muttered bitterly while shaking her head repeatedly. Mion's reaction made me realize the true meaning of the forbidden storehouse for ritual implements. The ritual storehouse is a sacred building, so nobody can go inside. The curse will fall upon any who disobey. Any child would know that rule. However, just because they knew about it didn't mean that they all believed in it. Although they were told they would be cursed, most of the kids actually enjoyed hearing the stories. They simply didn't believe it was true. However, Mion's reaction told me it absolutely was. If they actually did that, of course something would happen to them. She was saying that if someone snuck into the ritual storehouse, that person should be killed.
私がこっちに帰ってきて以降、たまにミオンとは認識が食い違いますね。
What you know and what I know aren't matching up anymore.
そりゃ私だって西宮殿が迂闊に入っちゃやばいとこだってのは知ってますけど。
Of course, I'm aware I shouldn't just waltz into the storehouse.
あんな死に方しても当然だってほどやばいとは思わないんだけど。
But to be killed in such a gruesome way for doing it?
私たちだってその程度の認識じゃなかったでしたっけ？
I never knew that. Did you?
それはシオンがよく知らないだけだよ。
Sorry, just applying more entertainer secret to keep my vocal folds nice and supple and hydrated.
That's just because you're ignorant about it, Shion.
すみませんね、よく知らなくて。
Well, sorry for being ignorant.
説明をいただいてもよろしいですか？
Could you please explain it to me?
そりゃシオンの言う通り、子供の世界ではヤバいとかたたりがあるとか言ったって。
Just like you said, the kids don't really believe in the curse.
どうせ迷信に過ぎないだろう。でも大人にバレたらかなり怒られるんだろうなって程度の認識だと思う。
They assume it's just superstition. But they also know that if an adult found out, they'd be in big trouble.
でもね、ひなみ沢の古老たちにとってはそんな甘いものじゃないの。
But to the elderly people of Hinamizawa, it's something more serious. Mio explained to me how the elderly people blindly believe in Oyashiro-sama, and how sacred the festivals are to them. It's probably something the younger generations would never understand, but they're possessed by a very strong, deeply rooted devotion toward Oyashiro-sama. Mio then went on to tell me about how sinful it was to violate the rule of the ritual storehouse. I just couldn't believe things like that were still going on even in the modern day. I couldn't even reply appropriately. But even if it were unbelievable, I couldn't ignore what I was hearing from my twin sister.
なるほどね。
I see.
でもさ、ミオン。
But Mio,
たたりで一人が死んだら、それを相殺する意味で一人を生贄にするのがルールじゃなかったっけ？
doesn't the rule say that one victim gets killed by the curse and another has to become a sacrifice?
生贄の死体は出ない。
The body of the sacrifice is never to be found.
なのに今回は二人とも死体が出ちゃってるんだけど。
But there are two dead bodies this time.
そのあたりはどう見る？
What do you reckon of that? Mio doesn't know that besides Takano-san and Tomitake-san, Keiichi and Ayasu snuck into the ritual storehouse. So I tried to lead her a little.
確かにおかしいね。
I know, that doesn't make sense.
高野さんの焼死体は見つかっちゃいけなかったってことなのかな。
Maybe Takano-san's burnt body wasn't supposed to be found.
本当は高野さんは失踪ってことになるのがパーフェクトだったのかな。
Maybe the intention was for her to vanish.
あるいは
Or,
自信はないけど。
I'm not too sure, but...
何？
What?
根拠なんかいらないから言ってみてよ。怒らないから。
Just say what you're thinking. I won't get mad.
I can already tell that that's a promise Shion won't keep. She has the Oni awake inside her. Excuse me.
Mio hesitated a little first, and then started to speak.
西宮殿に忍び込んだのは実は4人とか。
Actually, 4 people snuck into the shrine storage. So maybe...
Ugh, what was that clip sound?
それで？
Maybe what?
で、もう2人は生贄ってことで鬼隠しになってるんじゃないかな。
Maybe the other 2 will become the sacrifices and get demoned away.
Higurashi no Naku Koro ni Meakashi-hen. One second.
Mion's words were stuck in my head. If those 2 dead bodies were the result of the curse, then there should be 2 sacrifices to calm Oyashiro-sama's anger. The 4 of us snuck into the shrine storage together. It was a simple equation. Did that mean that Keiichi and I were in danger? I got drunk, fell asleep, and decided to stay overnight. Was that because of the alcohol? Or did someone put a drug in my drink? It's not like me to get drunk and spend a night at the hag's house. I wanted to forget about what happened in that eerie storehouse, so I drank too much. But it really was strange for me to get that drunk. Maybe it was a good thing I woke up in the middle of the night. I could have been the one to wake up in a cell. Sometimes it's hard to recognize danger when you avoid it accidentally. A part of me wanted to just laugh at the idea, but another part felt frightened that I was so close to being in Mion's position. If my thinking was correct, I wonder how Meakashi-hen was doing right now. I didn't see him in any of the cells, but that didn't guarantee his safety. Takano-san and Tomitake-san had been executed. There was a possibility that Keiichi could already be dead. But just like what happened to Satoshi-kun, it might only happen after a few days. When the sun rose, I was going to pretend to be Mion and head to her school. I was going to check if Meikashi-hen was safe. If he had already disappeared, the enemy would come after me next. I'd have to be a decoy for myself. But if he were still safe, I'd need to keep my eyes on him. I was sure the enemy would come after that scatterbrain. If I became Mion, Shion would disappear. The enemy would think Shion had already been demoned away, and then concentrate on Keiichi. If nothing happened to Keiichi, that would also be fine. It'd prove that nothing would happen to me either. The hag was still sleeping in the wheelchair. I was going to interrogate her, but actually I wasn't expecting to learn that much. The woman who was also known as Empress Sonozaki probably wouldn't say a thing even if her fingers were cut off. Mion, her successor, was the complete opposite. She spoke readily but didn't know too much about anything. Mion had said she was only a messenger, and that someone else was taking care of problems on the underside. It was possible Mion had grown to be a good liar, and that she tried to deceive me with a straight face. But at the same time, I could see the hag not letting Mion get involved in the underside of the village. If I were her, I wouldn't have used Mion for that either. Unlike me, Mion was a nice person. While there were only ones and zeros in the world, she believed there were numbers with decimal points. In other words, she could never be cruel. If the hag thought the same way as I do, it was very possible. The one who took care of problems on the underside, X, was the one who actually governed the curse of Oihashira-sama. If the hag became concerned about something, X would deal with it, either directly or indirectly. Or maybe the hag and X would discuss the details first. But did X really exist? If he did, his place in the village hierarchy was a lot more important than that of the successor. Unlike Mion, who was too nice, he was discreet, cruel, and cunning. Furthermore, he was extremely close to the hag. Someone who would have a lot of contact with her just before it was time for the curse.
Ugh. My vocal folds. Let me massage them a little bit. Loosen them up. Fascial release. Just letting my fingers dig right into the middle of the muscles and just keeping them there, keeping them pinned down so that the blood can flush out of the vessels, so that when it flushes in again, it'll loosen up and feel amazing. Just waiting. Okay.
Because of the way Tomitake-san died, it could be someone who regularly dealt with unusual drugs. He could be a member of a medical institution. The director of the ETA clinic. Irie? In this isolated village, Irie was famous for opening such a beautiful clinic and for working so hard for the villagers' sake. The villagers liked his mature personality and really respected him. There's nothing scarier than a doctor who's also a murderer. If Irie was the person behind the curse, all the mysterious deaths could be explained. However, there was only a slim chance of Irie being X. The main reason being that the hag wouldn't trust him. Like many of the elderly, the hag doesn't like young people. I knew she'd never trust him because of his age. Furthermore, she had openly criticized his behavior amongst the relatives once. Although Irie was famous, he was an outsider, after all. He wasn't born here. He tried to maintain a good relationship with the villagers as the director of the clinic, but that was just on the surface. I couldn't even imagine the hag telling him about her worries or about the village's underside. If she was as suspicious of others as I was, then she'd only gather trustworthy people to deal with that underside. The first people that came to my mind were the leaders of the three families.
Well, Rika's even younger than, Irie-sensei.
Leaving Rika-tama out, the head of the Kimiyoshi family was a strong possibility. He was the only one who could advise Empress Sonozaki. They were of a similar age, and everyone knew that they were very close outside the family councils. Furthermore, as the mayor, he often went to the Sonozaki house just before Watanagashi to discuss festival preparations.
When it says they were close outside the family councils, I'm wondering if the Japanese specifies it's like just outside the family councils or outside the family councils as well, because Japanese could be expected to specify that sort of thing with the presence or absence of particles like mo, for instance.
I could easily picture them talking privately. The one who executed the curse of Oyashiro-sama.
It makes me think of Execute Order 66.
The one who murdered Takano-san and Tomitake-san. The mastermind behind the series of mysterious deaths that had been going for the past 5 years.
It should be that have been going on.
That had been going on for the past 5 years. Was he coming after me? Did he get to Satoshi-kun? When I thought about Satoshi-kun, I felt elevated. I was fearful of possibly being this year's victim until just a moment ago. I was scared that X was after me. But when I thought about it, I realized. Whoever it was, this person had gotten Satoshi-kun. I'd looked so hard, but I couldn't find him. I'd almost forgotten about this enemy. For better or for worse, he was going to appear before me again. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't find that enemy. But now, he was trying to find me. That was it. I wasn't only being chased. I was chasing too. When I realized all this, I was no longer afraid of dying to the 5th year's curse. It had become a game. I wasn't only being threatened. I was threatening too.
I'm the one who knocks. That's pretty much what Shion is saying there. It's a Breaking Bad reference. What's the reference I made before that? I forget. It's officially commenced at 11:34 p.m. Wow, it's this late. Yeah, I can't remember. Anyway.
Now was the time to settle the score for Satoshi-kun. Now was the time to awaken passions that had grown weak over the past year. I could feel righteous indignation and courage flare up within me. The only emotion that can defeat fear is anger. When my anger completely overtook my fear, I felt as if I were reborn.
おばあ様、そろそろ目を覚ましてくださいません？
Why don't you wake up, Empress of Hags? I kicked her wheelchair rather violently, but that didn't wake her up either.
ひょっとして眠ったふりをしてやり過ごそうとか考えてません？
Are you just pretending to be asleep? I grabbed her hair and pulled her head up. But even then, the hag still stayed silent with a straight face. Then I noticed something. I looked for an appropriate torture device. They were all large scale, none of them being particularly handy. That's when I saw a cigarette lighter on a cushion in the tatami room. One of the relatives must have left it there. I lit the lighter. A huge flame appeared. I turned the lighter off and went back to the hag with it.
見えてます？
Can you see it?
見えてない？
Can't you see it?
これ誰の忘れ物かわかりませんけどね、ライターです。
This is a cigarette lighter somebody left behind. I lit it in front of her eyes.
今からこれであなたの鼻を焼きます。
I'm going to burn your nose now.
嫌でしょ？
You don't want that, do you?
私も嫌です。
I wouldn't want it.
ですから寝たふりをやめてください。
So why don't you quit pretending to be asleep? There was still no response. I put the flame right under her nose without hesitation. The tip of the flame touched the tip of her nose. The flame must have burned her nose hair. It smelled terrible. I was already certain, but I continued anyway. I brought the flame closer to her eye. Her eyelid didn't move one bit. The flame burned her eyelashes, making it smell awful again. I turned the lighter off and then felt her throat and wrist. I didn't feel any warmth. I didn't feel a pulse either.
こいつスタンガンで死んだ？
Did she die from the stun gun? There was no way she could pretend to be asleep while being burned. Even if she could endure the pain, anyone would reflexively move their eyelids if a flame came close to their eyes. But she didn't. I turned the sink water on and aimed the end of a hose at the hag's face. The water pressure wasn't too high, but by squeezing the tip of the hose, I could make it squirt out. The water hit the hag in the face, but there was still no reaction. Crap. You've got to be kidding me. She's dead. The one who was at the center of everything is dead now. I knew she wouldn't talk, but I didn't expect her to end up dead. I never even thought of killing her. I walked around the room restlessly. I didn't feel guilty, but instead felt frustrated with what I'd done. Come on. I need to calm down. What do I need to be afraid of? Calm down. And stay cool. Calm down. Stay cool. I could feel my brain starting to calm down. And my emotions cooling down with it. She was my true enemy. It was just that I killed her before confronting her about it. Sooner or later, I would have killed her anyway. She wouldn't have said anything in the first place, so there wasn't really a reason why I should have let her live. I didn't realize that until now, and that was why I got frustrated. My revenge for Satsuki started with the unexpected death of my grandmother.
Hold on.
It was such a strange feeling, like I was wearing sopping wet clothes. I replaced that feeling with anger. I couldn't forgive her. I couldn't forgive the hag for abusing the Hojo family, including Satoshi-kun, for so many years. She cornered him psychologically as well as physically. She didn't deserve an easy death from a stun gun. I picked up a whip that was hanging on the wall. The whip was designed to make sure the person on the receiving end got seriously injured. I swung it up, and then down. The sound reminded me of when I was a child hitting things with a jump rope I pretended was a whip. But unlike then, I made a purple mark on the hag's face, and reddish-black blood started oozing out. I swung it up and then down again. This time the whip hits her in the head. Her hair flew in the air. I saw a bunch of her hair on the tip of the whip. At the end of the bunch of hair, there was a piece of her skin. Seeing the whip had ripped part of her scalp off. I continued to hit her with the whip. I did bother removing the hair beforehand. The tip of the whip was divided into many points, with each point having a fish hook on the end. Ugh. Those hooks, added to the speed of the whip, not only scratched them, but tore their skin as well. The hag's hair was all messed up and her face was getting bloody. She started to look like a real demon. I stopped the whipping. Not because my arm was tired, but because I couldn't stand the feeling of her hair on the tip touching me every time I swung the whip. I threw the whip at the hag. Breathing heavily, I realized I was covered in her hair. I almost felt like thousands of maggots crawling all over me. I brushed it off violently.
思い知ったか、悪魔め。いつからそこにいたんだか言ってくれればよかったのに。そっか、レナが言ってたもんね。あんたお社様ってのは。冗談じゃない。あんたがお社様で、たたりは本当にお社様のたたりってわけなの？バーカ！誰が信じるかよ。まあ、あんたが見たいってんなら勝手だけどさ。私は見物料を取るつもりもない。でも私の邪魔をしようってんならあんただって容赦しないよ。 ミオン、昔親戚の誰かが言ってたじゃん。この地下の秘密部屋のどこかに隠し井戸があって、外へ出られる秘密の通路があるって話。さっきの音は聞こえてなかった？ばあさんを鞭で叩く音。大丈夫。あんたは叩かない。でもね、あんたが不愉快だとばあさんをもっと叩くかもしれない。今度は無知なんかじゃなくて。そこの奥、暗がりにも牢屋があるでしょう。その中。ミオンはあの井戸降りたことあるの？降りたくもない。それに関しては著しく同感。この秘密部屋の犠牲者たちが放り込まれた井戸になんか好き好んで降りたくはないもんね。シオン、バッチャを落とすけ？落とすんじゃないよ。捨てるんだよ。もう死んでるしね。さっきの拷問で死んだんじゃないよ。多分ばあさんはスタンガンで死んだんだよ。心臓麻痺とかで。ひどい。なんなら死後の鬼ババの世話もする？ 私は構わないけどね。
シオン、どうしてこんなことを。
さーて、どうしてだと思います？
サトシ、敵討ちってこと？
敵討ちになったかもわからないけどね。いきなり後ろからバチンだったから、何が何やらわかんないうちにご臨終だったろうし。ねえミオン、今こうして思い返すと、私はやっぱりばあさんを殺すだけの理由があったように思うの。なぜかわかる？単にサトシ君を殺した張本人だからってだけじゃないよ。それは嘘をついたから。あんたも言ったよね。私が爪を剥がせば全て許すって。だから私は爪を剥がしたんだよ、3枚も。それでけじめがついたってことになったんだよね。でも約束は守られなかった。サトシ君はやっぱり消されてしまった。どうして？どういうことなの？あの時サトシ君がいなくなってしまった後、あんたが来て言ったよね。サトシ君と私の関係はけじめがもうついてたって。そしてこうも言ったよね。サトシ君の失踪の理由は、園崎本家は何も知らないと。
うん、い
嘘だ！あんたが何も知らないのは本当だと思う。あんた自身、ばあさんに真の意味で信頼を得ていたかは怪しいからね。でもばあさんが本当に私のけじめでサトシ君を許したかはわからないよ。アマちゃんのあんたに本当のところを打ち明けるわけもない。嘘つき、嘘つき、嘘つき、嘘つき、嘘つき、嘘つき。かの、かの、返してサトシ君、返してよサトシ君、返して返して返して返して。 怖がらせちゃったね。ごめんごめん。ミオンがミオンの言うように何も知らなかったならミオンはいじめないからね。安心して。でももしミオンも嘘をついていたなら仕方ない。その時はどういう目に遭わされても仕方ない。仕方ないよね。